Watch this.
It's Friday. You know what that means? It's time for the 208. Illegal campaign signs appear to still be up around Ada County in the commissioner's race. Another complaint is lodged with the county. So, does any of this matter? Public records haven't always been easy to view, especially before advanced computers, but a concerted effort in Idaho is changing that. Transparent Idaho, a special site, has brand new features for their massive collection of public data. And those features are based on user interactions, aka, you got to give the people what they want. And it's finally Friday, and it's been a long week of some heavy news. Yeah, we all feel it here too on the 208. So, we're taking a moment for some perspective, sharing your good news in this week's Feel Good Friday. Happy Friday. Here we are at the end of the week, and Ada County Commissioner Ryan Davidson still appears to have illegal campaign signs up across Ada County. Whether you think it's a big deal or not, the fact is that an elected official has not removed campaign signs that have a previous endorsement on it. And the previous endorsement, it comes from a political action committee that actually supports Davidson's opponent in the Ada County Commissioner race, Clyde Dornier. So you can see the issue here and why the Dornier campaign wants accurate signage in the community. The Dornier campaign has filed a third complaint today with the Ada County Elections Office, and we'll show you a sample of the signs. They may look familiar to you. The Dornier campaign says that the lack of action speaks for itself. The campaign says that they think, quote, it's obvious that Ryan Davidson has no intention of complying with the law. This isn't complicated. We have documented the signs' locations. It would only take a few hours for Ryan Davidson to remove them. He has benefited from these illegal signs for weeks and appears to have no interest in removing them, end quote from the Dornier campaign. And that campaign goes on to say that the action of putting up signs and the inaction of not taking steps to get them removed clearly violates the Idaho Sunshine Law, as stated in Section 67-6601, which is to promote openness in government and to promote transparency by giving financial support to election campaigns. So the violation significantly undermines the principles of the democratic process, the campaign says. Of note, we did reach out to Ryan Davidson. He has not responded directly, but he did write on his Facebook this week saying, quote, due to various campaign technicalities, I need to remove and replace some of my signs. Therefore, I would request that if you place one of these signs, to remove it. Highlighted by the Dornier campaign, the quote-unquote various campaign technicalities is code for breaking Idaho law. And here's the Idaho law they are speaking about right here. So it's a big conversation right now, and I did reach out to Mr. Davidson again this afternoon with a set of very basic questions. We want to know, was he aware of the law? Did he put the signs up himself? Is he simply looking for help to get them down? He has not responded to our questions. And I also reached out to the Ada County Elections Office for an update, like at what point does this really get sent to the Secretary of State's office? The Dornier campaign tells us they have filed a third complaint, and they're still waiting for action. Again, the May primary election coming up in just a few weeks. An update and a revamp from the Idaho State Controller's Office for their Transparent Idaho website. That site, it hosts a pretty comprehensive collection of government data, public records, and we have featured the site before, and the new changes, well, they make it so it's easier for everybody to access and understand the data and the website itself. So, some key features that the Controller's Office is pointing out to us: the introduction of agency-specific pages, and you're looking at the website right here, by the way, and these pages, they host data directly relevant to every single agency, and that includes insights into employee count, what they're paying the employees, as well as travel transactions and any vendor data in terms of deals that they've made. They also have an entire section that shows the workforce and salary data. And it's a feature that is a direct response to users' interest. It's what people at home have been looking up. And finally, the Controller's Office says a brand new streamlined public records request. They designated a dedicated page that features several of the most frequently requested reports for smoother and more efficient process. Why request data if it's already out there and the request has already been fulfilled? So it's pretty neat stuff. If you've ever wondered where your tax dollars are going and how they are used, I would say this is the ultimate site for that. May 21st primary is just around the corner, but even closer is early voting for Ada County. It's coming Monday, May 6th. Ada County residents can start casting their ballots for the May 21st primary. You can vote early weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ada County Elections Office, Meridian City Hall, Boise City Hall, and the Eagle Public Library. Voters can go to any of the locations for early votes, and you can also register to vote at any of those locations if you are not registered. Just remember to bring your photo ID and a proof of residence. Plus, if you see Ada County's mobile voting trailer across the Treasure Valley, you can stop by and vote there too. And they'll be stopping at local libraries and other community centers over the next several weeks, but they will be open to the public from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you plan to use an absentee ballot, make sure to send it in as soon as possible. No need to wait. You can also always drop off any completed absentee ballots in the drop boxes around the Treasure Valley for Ada County, and that includes locations at the Ada County Elections Office, Meridian City Hall, and Boise City Hall. Alternatively, you can also go to Kuna City Hall, Star City Hall, Eagle City Hall, all those places, they got the drop boxes. And if you want to find out exactly what's on your ballot, you can go to adacounty.id.gov/elections. And if you want to do more than just vote in the election process, we've got a great opportunity. Ada County is looking for poll workers, volunteers, specifically for the primary, especially, they say, in Central Meridian, Garden City, and Northwest Boise. If you want to be a poll worker, you must be a United States citizen, over 16 years old, and be able to stay politically neutral. You also have to do a training before the May 21st primary. Then on Election Day, you will commit to a volunteer 14-hour shift, and each poll worker is paid $150 for their work. You can sign up on the Ada County Elections website at any time. And over in Canyon County, you can also vote early there in the 2C, and you can actually cast your ballot early starting Monday through the 17th at the Hispanic Cultural Center and the Caldwell Elks Lodge. Early voting polls will be open weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For absentee ballots, you must be registered to vote to request one, and the deadline to request an absentee ballot is coming up at 5 p.m. on May 10th, and they must be returned to the Canyon County Elections Office by 8 p.m. on Election Day. There are now, by the way, more than 45 specific polling locations for the primary in Canyon County, so make sure to look up where yours is on the voter lookup tool on the county election website. And you can also remember, you can register to vote at the polls in Canyon County as well. You bring a valid photo ID and proof of residence. Check out the sample ballots online as well.
And I waited and waited and waited to be verified and approved and all this stuff. And I never saw the funding.
Yesterday, we talked to one of the many angry parents across Idaho who say they have not received funding for the Empowering Parents Grant. The program prioritizes low-income families and awards $1,000 per student, but caps out at $3,000 per family. Now, parents, though, they tell us they're upset about not receiving their funds and the lack of communication from the vendor. It's called Odyssey, and Odyssey wrote us a statement saying, quote, with tens of thousands of applications processed, resulting in tens of millions of dollars for Idaho families, we're proud of the work we're accomplishing in Idaho to empower families with education choice and the resources their children need to succeed. They do go on to say, quote, we understand that parents may have challenges navigating the program, and our support teams are available by phone, chat, and email to help resolve any issues that arise. According to Odyssey, waves 1 and 2 of the Empowering Parent Grant have been funded. If you haven't received your funding, they say, then there is probably an issue with your application. You can reach out to Odyssey, they say, to find out what the problem is, and they'll try to help you fix it. Funding for wave 3, the final wave, opens in just 2 weeks. Well, it's another big week at the Ada County Courthouse for the Chad Daybell trial, and there were gruesome images and testimony about JJ and Tylee's remains. Triple murder trial here. A warning, the first story in today's 411 may be disturbing to some viewers, so as we recap that, now would be a good time to step away if you would like to. Morgan Romero brings us that story and others in the 411.
JJ's human remains end up being found where that orange rectangle is, and our pet cemetery ends up being found in this area right here, and that square ends up being Tylee's burial site.
Today, jurors learned how law enforcement found the remains of J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan on Chad Daybell's property in June of 2020. Chad is accused of murdering his current wife's children, J.J. and Tylee, as well as his first wife, Tammy. FBI Special Agent Steve Daniels said they carefully excavated portions of Daybell's yard layer by layer. His team found pieces of bone and charred flesh, and then mounds of melted flesh in a green bucket with what they later determined to be Tylee's skull at the bottom. Graphic photos of the remains were shown to jurors, but not to the public. Physical evidence like Tylee's necklace and a pick and shovel from Chad's garage were brought into the courtroom as well. You can watch all of today's trial on our YouTube channel. Agent Daniels will be back on the stand Monday. Idaho AG Raul Labrador said today the Idaho Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force arrested Lloyd Perry on Wednesday for generating thousands of sexual abuse images of kids using artificial intelligence. Idaho's new law on criminalizing AI images of child sexual abuse doesn't go into effect until July 1st. Boise police say Officer Jay Sontag shot and killed the man police say killed Ada County Sheriff's Deputy Tobin Bolter on April 20th. Police say 65-year-old Dennis Mulqueen shot and killed Deputy Bolter during a traffic stop on the Boise bench. Mulqueen took off after that shooting, and later, officers were in a standoff with him in front of a nearby home. Mulqueen shot at officers, and that's when Sontag shot and killed Mulqueen. Garden City Police is leading the Ada County Critical Incident Task Force investigation. Tours for the St. Jude Dream Home start tomorrow. The open house event is Saturday through May 19th at 4634 South Selatier Way in Meridian. You can tour Wednesday and Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. and Friday through Sunday from noon to 8. Plus, sign up to be entered into a drawing for a $10,000 shopping spree at More Furniture. The winner of the house and prizes will be announced on June 2nd. It's officially a wrap on a record-breaking Idaho Gives. Over 4 days, you all helped raise more than $4.1 million for 624 organizations. There were more than 13,000 donors from 68 countries and all 50 states. Idaho Gives has now raised nearly $28 million since 2013. That's your 411 on the 208. I'm Morgan Romero.
It's Friday. Get it? Friday? Yay? Okay. Sunny, and there's a lot to celebrate out there. So the obvious choice to share, some of your good news. And we've got a bit of that just ahead for you right here on the 208. Have any good news that you want to share with us or anything else about the program? Text us your questions, comments, concerns, really anything to the number on your screen. It's 208-321-5614. When you send us a message, please include your name and hashtag the 208. Keep them clean, concise, and clever so we can show as many of them as possible live at the end of the show. Ah, yes, finally, Feel Good Friday. You've made it to the weekend, or you're so close. And under the sun, though, there's a whole lot to celebrate. We hit up 8th Street in downtown Boise to hear the good news that you have to share, and as it turns out, most have a lot in common. Here's Andrew Bartline.
Okay. Tell us good news.
Check, 1, 2.
Oh, good news? Is that what I didn't know what you wanted.
We're here from California. Our granddaughter is graduating from Boise State University.
She is the first of my kids to graduate from college, my youngest daughter, and I'm incredibly proud of her. She's going to stay here. She loves it here.
Hey, everybody. Straight in from Bavaria. Hallo. Today is the first day that I've seen my family in about 12 years. We're celebrating my son's graduation from Boise State.
Everyone's been saying that today.
Everybody, of course, it's great. 4 years that we've got to come up here and visit this wonderful town.
Nope, graduate next year, but I finished my last class for the semester and I'm going to Hawaii.
You broke up the flow. It was parent after parent saying my kid's graduating.
I know, next year.
It's my dog's birthday today.
How old's your dog?
She's turning 8. Ballet Idaho is performing at the Morrison Theater this weekend.
It's exciting.
Yes.
Are you performing yourself?
I am one of their teachers.
We're just walking around. I think we're gonna do some day drinking.
I think that's what the sun signals.
That's what I'm talking about.
Interrupting with my good news, we have a Carolyn Hawley sighting. Boom, there she is.
Just walk around downtown more and then head to campus. They're gonna open the Albertson Stadium on the field, walk around the field.
Who traveled in and out my door.
Is the good news that you're a singer?
Huh? I'm celebrating a twofer this weekend. My son's graduating from Boise State, Wyatt, and we're celebrating my sister-in-law, Janelle Treaster's coming out.
That's wonderful.
It's a party. Everybody's invited.
And I'm also here with my daughter and her fiance. They're getting married next year.
You said Bavaria earlier.
Yeah, I'm from Bavaria, so.
Is that southern Germany?
It's Eastern Germany.
I love Boise. Every time we come up, it's the cleanest city I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen any trash on the ground. It's freakishly clean. People are super friendly. Just an absolutely gorgeous place.
I work for LA County. I live in LA right now, so.
Well, don't tell anyone else that.
I know I shouldn't. I know. I like it here more though.
I got plenty to celebrate, yeah?
What's your good news, Joe?
You know what? I just have so much good news.
Oh,
my family is happy and healthy, and I'm excited for a beautiful weekend. That's my good news. What's your good news?
You got very wholesome about it. Your dog's healthy, too.
My dog is very healthy. He had a little bit of a surgery. He's doing great.
Yeah. I'm going to see my family in a couple weeks.
You
Looking
are.
forward to that. And this weekend, I'm hanging out with you.
And I'm hanging out with you.
And our coworkers.
And our
We're
coworkers.
gonna have
That's
a fun
gonna be
weekend.
great.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Wow,
Fun
get my
outside of work
cowboy
with
hat.
people you work with. It's fun.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, folks, I see your good news coming in, so we'll get to some of this in our comments section. But Andrew, thank you. I think we needed a little smile. Okay, I'm told to please wrap. We'll be right back. Earlier this week, we celebrated one of the last Idaho mountain men, Buckskin Bill. Today, we're going to get to some of your memories of him that we didn't have time for earlier this week. Do you have any new comments for us today? We would love to hear them to wrap this week up. Text us, 208-321-5614. Don't forget to include hashtag the 208 and your name so we can give you credit.
We will be talking about more spring snow as we head into the later part of this weekend. So places like Bogus Basin at those highest elevations, we may be looking at around 10 inches, maybe 12 inches of snow. But today on the beautiful side, Treasure Valley looking beautiful and green. We've had blue skies for the most part and warmer temperatures up to 64 degrees for the high today, 68 over in Ontario and mild in other areas as well, up to 57 in Twin Falls. But we're expecting big changes as we go throughout the weekend. We'll start to feel that in the valleys tonight as winds pick up. The moisture moves in starting on Saturday, continuing for several days. And then behind that cold front bringing the moisture, we've got plummeting temperatures on Saturday. So for the most part for your Saturday, things looking a little on the dry side, but then we start to see the moisture increase in some of those afternoon hours. But the bulk of that moisture will be falling in the overnight hours. So overnight on Saturday into Sunday, and this will be a good amount of moisture. So we'll wake up to some soggy conditions. Mountains, valleys are expecting light snow, so about a ½ inch to 3 inches of snow through Sunday night. But again, those higher elevations is where we're expecting more. Otherwise, things staying on the wet side throughout valley locations, and you can see showers lingering through Monday, but we've got more sunshine and warm temperatures on the way.
His story began in 1906 in Oklahoma when it was still Indian territory. Born Sylvan Ambrose Hart, he graduated from the University of Oklahoma and thought for a moment about getting into the oil business. Then the Depression hit.
My reaction to the Depression was to find a place with natural resources to defeat it. I could have found no better place than Salmon River.
He arrived in Idaho in 1932 after buying 50 acres of land along the Salmon River for $1. There, he would spend decades in solitude.
It's a good deal. Well, Buckskin Bill was known as the last of the mountain men. He lived in Idaho's Frank Church River of No Return wilderness for nearly 50 years. And over the decades, anyone who may have floated past this place along the 5-mile bar of the Salmon River would almost definitely be in for a great conversation with the man. Buckskin Bill passed away 44 years ago, back on Monday. So on Monday, we told you about the legacy of the man who lived alone but was never lonely. And some of you told us about your encounters with him, like G. Hardy, who said, "Brother and I met Buckskin Bill at his homestead on the Salmon River. What a memory. His cabin, his woodworking shop, his forge, the weapons and utensils he made. He didn't lack for anything. If he did, he made it or grew it. A master craftsman, a gardener, an amazing human being. He died today. Today is my birthday, too. Amazing man." Thank you, G. Hardy. Bob wrote to us saying, "Thank you for the story about Buckskin Bill. My ex-father-in-law was one of the first ones to start giving people trips and the jet boats down the Salmon River." And finally, another person writes to us saying, "I love the story about Buckskin Bill. What a fascinating story. That's why I love to watch the show." Well, thank you for watching the show. And yeah, he was a fascinating man. As always, we love your comments, and we will be showing those on the other side of the break. So much great news out there in the community. Here's what you had to say on a Friday. My good news, we just celebrated our 40th kidney transplant. I work for a nonprofit, Dove, that helps veterans who need life-saving kidney transplants find living kidney donors, and Team 40 just happened. Thank you, Haley, so much for that great news. This person says Tommy Krogan retired this week after 36 years with the software company Wahoo. Good job, Tommy. Feel Good Friday. My first grandson was born 2 weeks ago. Every day is a feel-good day now. Melissa and Caldwell, you are so right. 36 years together today, the recent best 4 years spent here. Larry and Margaret in Boise, appreciate that. My good news for this weekend, my older brother has been visiting all week and he's leaving tomorrow morning. I jest, we love him. Hey, we love you guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.